So I'd say 2 to 3 weeks, making, I think, I forgot what my profit margin was on those, but I think it was at the end of the day, it was like $70,000, something like that.
Oh my God! Wow!
So $70,000 for your first contract. So the second one was another 80 grand.
Right. So, well, the first one was a little over 70,000.
Yeah. So almost
and then
about 160K in your first month.
Right.
Within your first month of government contract.
Yeah.
Profit.
Yeah, something like that.
We're talking profit here.
Yeah, straight profit.
All right, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jonathan Howard. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna say 20 plus years in government contracting.
Yeah, almost 25 years now.
25 years in government contracting. Net, I don't even know. We'll get into the numbers, but net, you've made millions of dollars in net profit, not just reward, but in net profit in government contracting.
I've made enough.
You made enough. and you're low key. You're technically retired right now, but you're
somewhat. Got to stay busy a little bit. So I'd say
semi-retired. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey man, well John, I mean I introduced you, but tell us about yourself, man. I mean, you're just talking to me, man. Like I said, we'll record this stuff, edit it later. But tell me, man, I know you, but tell the people about yourself.
Yeah, been doing government contracting since I was about 22. City, state, and federal. So not just the federal contracts like what we talk about, but on a city level, on a state level. Every entity out there that gets federal money or government money, I do contracts for them and been doing it. I mean, get bored, go through a contract in, make 20, 30 grand overnight.
Okay.
And there's not much.
So I know the story, but we got to tell the people. So tell us about your first contract, man. How did you get started in this? Like, what happened?
Yeah, so, well, I'd say my very first contracts with the government was VA grants. So I was doing grant work for disabled veterans to get them home modifications, and then moved over to Department of Rehabilitation Services. So I kind of captured that market doing home modification, ADA type stuff. And I got into, back in the day, it was FBO.gov, Federal Business Opportunities. So now it's SAM. I said that I got on, got registered, didn't take long at all. And through my first contract in, it was for, I believe it was Target coffins. I think that was my first contract. So Target coffins are...
Target coffin. What the heck is a Target coffin?
So target coffins are concrete embankment that they have an automated sign or target that comes up downrange in a shooting range. So I got with
sorry, go ahead.
Camp Gruber in Oklahoma, Army out there. They put a bid out to do some target coffins. I had no clue what they were, so I went on let's say sam.gov, and I did like an award search, so to see if anybody else has done target coffins. They give you sketches and diagrams, what they are. So I did an award search and found somebody at another Army base here that did target coffins. So I just called them up and said, hey, you guys did this contract for target coffins. I have another contract that I want to bid on. Can you guys make these for me? And they're like, yeah, we can make these for you. So they gave me a price for them, and they were pretty cheap. But back up a second. So what I did first, I sent my all the sketches over to a prefabber, like a concrete, like a cast in place type company. And they were like $1,600 a piece, and I'm thinking, it's like, that's going to be expensive. So I went ahead and put my bid in for $1,600 each, for these target coffins, and then they backed out. So that's when I did the award search and got with a company called Arrowhead Precast out of Jinx, Oklahoma. And they're like, yeah, they're going to be really expensive. They're about $300 a piece. So I've already won the contract at $1,600 a piece. And they're like, they're expensive at $300 a piece.
Wait,
so I was like, yeah.
You won it at $1,600 a piece, and then they said it's going to be $300 per one.
Yeah, like 300 some change.
Yeah.
And they're like, plus delivery, they're expensive. I'm like, okay, I think I can cover that. I already won them for $1,600 a piece. So the entity that I was going through decides that they could, because at my cost at 1,600 were too expensive. So I think they ordered like 100, but by the time that I actually got the solicitation, the award letter back, they only needed 88.
Mhm.
But you got to think 88 target coffins times 1,300. That's a lot of money. And that was
Yeah.
my first contract. It took about 2 weeks, I guess, for them to build them and deliver.
Mhm.
So I'd say 2-3 weeks. Making, I think, a cool. I forgot what my profit margin was on those, but I think it was, at the end of the day, it was like $70,000, something like that.
So $70,000 for your first contract, and then how did you feel after that? You're like, whoa, is this real? Like, how did you feel when you won that?
When you make that kind of money, it's like I thought somebody was going to come to my door and knock on it and say, "Hey, you're defrauding the government somehow." I was a little nervous, but I'll tell you this too is I sent you over the award letter,
Yeah,
and the initial solicitation. But
yep.
I mean, this was like when I first got into the government, but it was handwritten. I don't know if you would post that, but
no,
it was handwritten. It was pretty bad, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So you wrote something, sent it in.
Yeah.
You made 70 grand in 2 weeks.
Yeah, something like that.
And this
a little over 70.
Okay. And then you're like, okay, this is real. Like the FBI didn't kick down your door. Like it's a legit thing. You're just the middleman. You don't own a fab company. Like you don't own that. You just
No, it's a prefab company for concrete. They do those sound walls that you see on the side of highways, and they do culverts. And like I said, I only found them because I did an award letter search for other target coffins that the government was putting out, and there happened to be a contract that they had won a couple months prior, and they built them. And to be honest, the plans and the sketches that I got weren't even the same as the ones that I got from my contract. So what I did is I took their plans, the one that they already have the cast built for, and I sent those over to the contracting officer and said, "Hey, we have cast for these. Can we change the size a little bit?" And they approved it. So I didn't have to go with the original size.
Yeah,
it would have cost me more, but then at the end of the day, I made more money because the precast company didn't have to build a new cast for them. So they used the old ones.
So you kind of stumbled across like charging high. Like I told you, like people know my first contract was terrible. $5 an hour on a Catholic priest contract. He barely learns, and I'm making like $40 a week, if that. Your first contract, 80 grand. So how did you know? Well, I guess you didn't, because you got the quote for 1,600, and you just happened to find somebody else who said they do it for 300. So you kind of stumbled across, oh, well, I'll make 70 grand.
Yeah, so I was accustomed to already doing a grant contract for the government. So you got to look at it as I'm doing construction projects for the government, and they're paying 3, 4, 5 times as much as if I go out and do a remodel for Mr. and Miss Smith down the street. So I already knew that the government pays good. So when I got my my bottom line, my number out, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And I just look at it as like, well, that's what it's supposed to pay. So from then on, it's kind of like a learning lesson. Is like, well, they're going to pay those types of numbers. So every contract from then on out was basically a learning curve. Is that let me, whatever it costs, I'm double, tripling, quadrupling my numbers. So my second contract was it was within getting an award letter, I'd say within a couple of days, another contract came up for safety walls. So basically, they were blasting walls for an armory in Oklahoma. And they were 16 foot high, about 120 foot, something like that, and in the shape of an M. And I threw that in there and got my subcontracting bid. And I think when I bid on that, I think I just added $100,000 to it.
You just added $100,000 on top. Okay.
Yeah. So my subcontracting bid, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like 47, maybe 47,000, 48,000 for the actual product and the service. And I think I added like about 100 to it. And when it came down to it, and everything was final, and we extended the foundation of the blasting walls. That one, and keep in mind, this is within I'd say a week or 2 weeks of winning the first bid. I won the second bid, and my profit margin was about 80 grand.
So the second one was another 80 grand.
Right.
So
Well, the first one was a little over
70
70,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
So almost
And then
about
this,
160K in your first month,
right.
within your first month of government
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah,
Profit.
something like that.
And we're
It was,
talking profit here.
yeah, straight profit.
And that's what people always don't get.
Yo, don't click away. Oh yeah, you can't, because it's me, Wes Fisher. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the content that you're watching. I want to let you know, literally guys, I'm just a real dude. I was a school teacher for 8 years before I got into government contracting. I've been awarded 14 government contracts at the recording of this video. I've been awarded over 2.5 million, but it's not about me anymore. It's about my students. In the past 12 months, my students have been awarded over $5 million in contracts. So listen, if you want to learn how to get started on sam.gov, you want to learn how to actually get started bidding on the platform, then go ahead, click the link below. You can find out more about the mentorship program. You can book a call with me and my team. We can see if we can help you. We can see if you're a good fit for us and if we're a good fit for you. So go ahead and do that. As you can see, people are having a lot of success. We got people making anywhere from 10K a month to even upwards of 80 to 100K a month because they're following a proven system. All right, guys, I'll let you get back to the video. Peace.
Like, people, even me, I feel bad. I'm always telling people the award letter amounts, but I'm never really talking about profit. Tonight, we talking about profit, correct?
Absolutely.
Man.
Absolutely.
Man.
That's, I mean, when you do your bids, I tell people when you put your bid out there, get your sub cost, product and material. I'm sorry, material and service. If it's construction or something of that nature, it could be a product or it could be. I talked to someone earlier today about pest control. It could just be that service itself. Take whatever your sub bid is, and I say add your premium. Just add your premium to it. Whatever you feel comfortable, what you feel like making that day, just add it. If it's 100 grand, it's 100 grand.
Yep. And I appreciate you. I'll tell people, I'm gonna say it now, like my chimney cleaning contract, that was the first one. I was just like, oh, my sub's at 22K. John said just double, triple. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna charge the government 48K. And then 3 weeks later, the government sends me a award letter for 254,000 for the 5 year. And I'm just like, holy snap, I won.
You probably could have tripled it.
And I probably was, this was in the middle of nowhere. This is in Grand Canyon. My sub's driving 3-4 hours, wherever Vegas is, to the, Grand Canyon. So you're right. I charged, 48 a year. What if I would have charged 100K?
Absolutely. Well, there's, as we did this, I mean, there's some things you can do to see, if your number's right. A couple is, do a search on that chimney sweeping contract. You can tell if you scroll down to the page where the solicitation is, it'll show how many times they posted. If they posted it 2 or 3 times, they posted it 2 or 3 times and it lapsed over on the bid due date. So you can add a good premium to it. That's a good way to look at it as well.
I should have did more, man. I just had a student, John, not my other John, with a student named John. He just won a contract for 184,000, and he was for leveling some school floors or raising them or lowering them. I don't know what it was, but anyway, he asked me how much to bid. I was like, bro, this like double it, like put a lot of money on it. Like I think I told him like 20 or 30K. He ended up being like conservative, and he won 12K. He won the contract, just got it on Tuesday. So he's going to make $12,000, and it's going to take 2 weeks for them to do the work. It's only a one-time deal. And like you said, I'm just like, what if he would have put, like, if he did his research a little bit more, you're saying that he made 20K on that, 40K on that, whatever it is.
Some of his research can be just looking at whatever that solicitation is and going back on sam.gov and doing a award letter search. I can think of an example of probably raising the floor is that we have Tinker Air Force Base, which is a supply Air Force base, and they do, I see bids up all the time for raising floors, but they're raising the floors for IT type stuff, for ventilation and wire. And and that's probably what it is at a school. That it's probably one of their IT labs, but those contracts to raise that floor, it could be really expensive.
Really?
For the government.
For the government. Well, hey, good to know. Now he knows for the next one, and he's pending an award for one that he may make about $3,500 a month over the next 3 years. I forgot what it was for. So he's getting there. He's getting there. He's definitely getting there. So
right.
So John, tell me, man. I mean, so 25 years in now, like you had a lot of success in it. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where you want to go from there. I mean, you could, I mean, whatever. Like, you know, what happened midway? I mean, what are you doing now? Like, what do you? I don't know. You tell me, man. What's going on?
So I owned a bunch of mortgage companies before, so kind of retired from that, got bought out, which was fine. And at the time, I was just doing ADA stuff, so independent living for individuals with disabilities. So I was only doing Department of Rehabilitation Services, and which is a state entity, it's still government, so guaranteed pay. They pay good. So a construction project down the street would be, you know, 12, $15,000. I can bid 50 to 75,000. So there's a huge difference, going from, a regular resident versus a government contract.
Yeah.
So I still do that to this day. I do it because there's a need for it. I want to say because it's good money too, which it is, but there's a need for it. I mean, there's so many state entities that, again, with contracts, there's so many contracts that go out that don't get bid on. I'd say when I first got into, let's say, Department of Rehabilitation Services, there were clients that needed this service and they couldn't find an actual contract to do it, and they had been waiting 2-3 years.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where, you walk into a certain entity within these contracts, or a certain product or a certain service to where there's no one doing it. You can capitalize pretty big on it. So I still do that off and on up to this day. My wife and I work together, so when we get bored, we'll throw some bids out there, and I'd say we're 10 for 10 across the board. It's kind of hard to not get them.
I was gonna say, tell them. I mean, I know, like we joke around all the time. I think when we first started talking a few months back, or maybe almost a year back now, I don't remember now, how you're retired, like you're technically retired, but
Right.
like last month, how much did you probably do? And I don't know.
Well, I'd say in award letters, I'd say net maybe 100 to 150, something like that.
100 to 150 grand last
Yeah,
month.
that's right, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's award letters. I haven't done the work yet. I think one I have to October. This past week we bought all the material for it, to be drop shipped.
Oh, is this
I
the
may
fencing one? Tell me about the fencing one.
Oh yeah, so this is the fencing one. So the fencing material was about 54,000,
Mhm.
and it's at a national park where it's really hot, and they even specify within the solicitation that make sure you look to see where this park is, and the elements there, and make sure you determine your bid price based on the elements, and it being gosh, I forget what the word they use, but anyways, it's not allocated, not remote.
Not remote.
Yeah, it's not remote. So it's like way out in Timbuktu. There's no stores. There's nothing around. So it's pretty remote. And the elements, I don't know, it could be 125 degrees, but we have till October to do it. So the weather's gonna be a lot nicer there. We're gonna go to get it knocked out, only because it's kind of like money on the table, and I may have some jobs here, some contracts here in Oklahoma that I can do, and not have to shuffle all around to try to get that one done.
Yeah.
But
What was your? I know you're told you're making like 100K on that one alone, right?
about 150.
A 150 profit.
Yeah, 150,000 profit, something like that.
The legend, man. You're a legend, man. Like, I'm learning so much. You're a legend, man. What motivated you? I mean, I'm only assuming you've been an entrepreneur for forever, but what motivated you to even do all this? I know we talk about mindset all the time, but like, what motivated you to get to this point and do all this over and over again?
My motivation is I don't know if you want to edit this, but it's kind of,
I'll edit it out. Maybe
kind of like the brainwashing mentality of our K through 12 government school system. Get a 9 to 5, work a job. I think I've told you my theory behind a job is, a job tells you when to get up, when to go to bed, when you can eat, when you can use the restroom, when you can take a vacation, when you can just spend time with your family. If people like that control, I'd say with that control of safety and security. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'm a big fan of safety and security, but I can buy that with a lot of money.
Mhm.
So
So
I'd rather buy
how
my
do you
own
do
safety and security.
insurance? Do you have like insurance? I mean, how are you insured?
Yeah, buy your own insurance. It's not very expensive.
Got you. Hey man, and we can get real, man. I know we talk all the time about like the education system, people's mindsets. Like, I mean, like
Well,
it's crazy out here.
you go through 12 years of school that brainwashes you to tell you to get a job. And
Mhm,
not only that, they tell you to get a job through those 12 years, but then you
mhm,
got 4 more years to brainwash you some more to say, well, why don't you be a manager or supervisor to
mhm,
those employees and still be an employee, but be in debt so we still have, that control.
mhm,
So I just didn't want to I didn't want that type of life.
mm.
And then again, I mean, you you do one or two contracts depending on how hungry you are. I mean, you could take 6 months off. You could take a
Exactly.
year off.
Exactly.
I mean, when you're making 150, $200,000 in a month, I mean, it's kind of up to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know I don't think we told the people, but like before government contracting, probably way back when you were in the military, right? You served
Yeah.
that good stuff
So I did one enlistment in the Navy.
in the Navy. Okay, I know that.
Yeah. So um, did that. You're on call for 24 hours a day, and
Mhm.
that was kind of uh, a learning curve too. If I didn't want to do that, try to go from 24 hours a day to 8 to 12 hours a day job. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So,
Mm, mm. So
but
it's
yeah,
kind of like finding out, like, okay, 24 hours in the Navy a day, you gotta be on call. Then you realize a job is like, okay, you're 12 hours a day, but you gotta show up for work, you gotta, get a paycheck, be safe, feel secure, and then you're like, okay, screw that, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur and blow it up.
yeah. Well, when I got out, I went. I already had some college, so I was
Mhm,
gonna finish my degree, and I studied the MCAT, the DAT, the whole nine, and I was like, I'll be a doctor or dentist, something like that. But
mhm,
my junior year in college, I have always been entrepreneurship minded. But my junior year in college, I opened up quite a few mortgage companies. I didn't own them. It's kind of like, being the middleman, what we're doing now. I didn't own the mortgage companies. I hired mortgage brokers, and
wow,
I just owned the shops and took a percentage for
wow,
funding it. So I
uh-huh,
did that. Then we had an investment company that went along with the mortgage companies, and um, we use that to help fund the mortgages. But long story short is that I made more money my junior year in college than probably 2 to 3 times as much as the average doctor or dentist does in
wow.
Oklahoma. So, and that was my junior year in college, and I'm just like, I I'm not gonna finish a degree and go 4 more years of medical school to have a job to work 12 hours a day to start at $80,000 a year.
What were you
Uh,
majoring in at the time? What was it? What was the major?
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Okay, chemistry.
Yeah.
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 Why? Why? Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, let me bust my butt to be an employee somewhere.
Mm,
Not gonna happen. I mean,
mm,
I learned back then, it's like there's no way. I mean, I still finished my degree and did the whole nine, but I was like, I'm not gonna get a job.
mm-hmm.
So I did that. A couple years later, ended up selling the mortgage companies, but still at the same time, I had started that construction company for disabled vets, and that was grant work. So again, still government, and DRS, which is still government. So I was doing that because I had talked to a lot of people that were doing, whether it be business, construction, or restaurant. You're always going to get stiffed by somebody financially. Someone's not going to pay their tab. Not someone's not going to pay their bills. Someone's not going to pay for your service.
Mm-hmm.
Government pays 100%, 100% of the time.
Talk about it.
It takes time. Well, I'd say it takes time because most are on a net 30.
Mm-hmm.
But as we go through this, you can be creative on the way of depending if you're doing city, state, or federal.
Mm-hmm.
Within the solicitations, it show percentages that discounts you'll give to the government, and those discounts can be 2% discount for a net 7, or let's say 5% discount for a net 0.
Wow.
So instead of waiting your 30 days, I mean, what I do is, let's say it's $100,000. I add 5% to it, and then throw my contract in there and say, I'll give a 5% discount for a net zero. So I just build it into it.
5% on top. So you just give the money back.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just like, I'll just add it to it.
So speak to this. I know you have such a wealth of knowledge. I know me, I've only been teaching the middleman concept, sam.gov. That's it. But you've talked about state, local, grants, colleges. Like, how big is this? How does this work? Like, there's so many ways of doing this.
So let's go to the colleges. Every college takes federal money. So they have to spend this money through, now it's someone with a UEI number. Before it was DUNS, and obviously you still have to have your CAGE code. So they still have to spend their money they have to spend that funding with registered government contractors. So every university that takes federal money, they have a procurement. Go to any university website, and you can go, it's either going to say contracts, procurement, or something of that nature. And you click on that, and they'll have a list of contracts just like they do with sam.gov. On the city level, City of Oklahoma City, City of Tulsa, you can go to their website. They're going to have a procurement, probably email or a number or somebody you can call, talk to. Indian tribes, every state has Native American tribes, so you can call them too. And it's just a matter of calling them, and let's say with Native American tribes, it's calling them and saying, hey, can I be on your interested vendors list? Exactly. With the city, there's not a list, but they will actually, I take that back. I know the City of Oklahoma City will have a list. So we were doing, gosh, this was a while back, we were doing, again, home modifications for low income families. So they'll pay to have their house, fixed up or remodeled, or, something taken care of. They'll actually have a list of approved vendors, to do that as well.
By just asking to be on that list.
Right, exactly. So, and it's not just, I know I talk a lot about, the construction. It's just because I have found that the construction portion, whether I'm doing it or I'm subcontracting it out to someone, I have found that the profit margin for that is a lot greater than a lot of stuff out there. And it's easy, because you have more control over it. I like to go to my jobs or my contracts or solicitations or, whatever. There's a lot that I've done in the past that I've never seen them. I get product that gets drop shipped.
I was gonna say, I mean, I know this is how I think. I'm always talking about money, but tell them about the dry cleaning contract that you had.
So it wasn't dry cleaning.
Was it folding, or
it's hospital linen.
Hospital linen.
Yeah. So first, the hospital linen industry on a non-government level is pretty competitive. So if you can get into it, say again.
I said they're cutthroat, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'll stab each other in the back. I mean, they'll underbid everything just to get the contracts, and then once their contract is over, try to raise it. But it's what they try to do is they try to put the other laundry facilities out of business. I mean, they're pretty cutthroat. So there's a contract for Indian Hospital here in Oklahoma, and I know what the going rate is for. Let's say a large hospital downtown Oklahoma City, they go for, 40 cents, 30 cents a pound, something like that. Well, this particular Indian hospital, they had put the bid up about 4 or 5 different times.
It was all that part. Back to what we said about you saw it listed multiple times. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not just that it was listed a couple of times. It's just a lot of these laundry facilities, they don't want to take smaller contracts. But keep in mind, this is 15,000 pounds a month, and I'm thinking it's like 15,000 pounds. It's not very big. I couldn't find anybody to sub it to. Okay. But I had met an owner to a hospital laundry facility downtown Oklahoma City, and I talked to him and I said, just let me know what you'll do it for. I'll pay you whatever. So he comes back, I think, at like 70 cents a pound.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, 70 cents a pound. But within these contracts, you as the contractor, sometimes you have to do a percentage. I mean, you can write your percentage up as 20, 30, 40% just by doing the the admin paperwork type stuff. It
Right.
doesn't have to be hands-on. But at the time I had a family member that needed a job. So I bought a truck, and I told the owner of the laundry facility that we were going to do the delivery, and he would do it for 70 cents a pound, which is double the price of the average national market for hospital linen.
Okay.
Not only that, the linen facility has to have all these registrations to do hospital linen.
Right.
You know, it's like green.
Green, chemicals, safe.
Yes,
driving,
clean green
safe,
and
whatever.
hygienically clean and HLAC certified, something like that. So it's a bunch of stuff.
Certification that you don't have, but
Yeah, I don't have it all. Yeah, the facility that I had to go through had to have these registrations and these certifications. So I found one. He said he'd do it for 70 cents a pound, double of the market, you know, the average national market number. And I'm thinking, it's like, okay, well, I can make a little bit of money. And I was thinking, it's like, they're going to make it complicated. So I almost didn't want the contract. So I go in and bid the contract for $2.83 a pound. So I was like, you know,
3 cents a pound when the national average is 30 to 40 cents.
35 to 45 cents, something like that. And that's with delivery.
$2.80 a pound.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So I ended up getting a phone call, and, you know, they're like, yeah, we want to go with your company. And I'm just like, okay. And I already knew how many pounds they were doing a month, and I knew how much I was going to pay out. But it was a 5-year contract. And after I paid my driver and, you know, we leased the vehicle, paid bills, everything we had to pay. It was really only insurance, payment on the van, and then $1,000 a week for the driver. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think I averaged about $28,000 a month.
A month?
For quite a bit of time.
For quite a bit of time.
Yo, don't click away. Oh yeah, you can't, because it's me, Wes Fisher. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the content that you're watching. I want to let you know, literally guys, I'm just a real dude. I was a school teacher for 8 years before I got into government contracting. You know, I've been awarded 14 government contracts at the recording of this video. I've been awarded over 2.5 million, but it's not about me anymore. It's about my students. In the past 12 months, my students have been awarded over $5 million in contracts. So listen, if you want to learn how to get started on sam.gov, you want to learn how to actually get started bidding on the platform, then go ahead, click the link below. You can find out more about the mentorship program. You can book a call with me and my team. We can see if we can help you. We can see if you're a good fit for us and if we're a good fit for you. So go ahead and do that. As you can see, people are having a lot of success. You know, we got people making anywhere from 10K a month to even upwards of 80 to 100K a month because they're following a proven system. All right, guys, I'll let you get back to the video. Peace.
I know the ending. We can talk about that later, but so you made about 28K a month for, I think it was like
on a 5-year contract.
You didn't go the whole 5 years though. You did 4 or you did 5? You did the whole 5.
I did 3 years.
You did 3 years of it. Okay.
Right.
I know. Again, the laundry injury. See, we don't have to even talk about that, but the laundry injury being so cutthroat, things happen. But either way it goes, you got 3 years in at 28K a month profit.
Yeah. So it was good money. It paid the bills.
How many rollies did you get from that? No, I'm kidding.
I used to collect them.
Yeah, you're the man. I ain't gonna lie. I tell people about you all the time. They never got a chance to meet you. Like, you motivated me, and that's why, you know, I've done what I've done. And I was gonna just tell you that on camera. That's why I went out and, like, you know, trying to emulate what you're doing, man. So that's awesome.
Right.
Man. That's awesome.
But the big thing is, you know, when your clients looking to do government contracting, is I've heard a lot of them talk about, well, I do hot shot, or I do this, I mow lawns. They want to tell you what their job is, and they want to do a contract based on what their job is. But you got to think outside the box. I mean, I didn't know anything about precast. I didn't know anything about laundry. I don't know anything about fasteners or, you know, test stands, you know, light fixtures. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of stuff out there that get posted on sam.gov that I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like, you know, with your due diligence, you can figure out that if either someone's bidding on it, or, you know, even if 100 people are bidding on it, just throw a bid in. You never know.
Never know. How many would you say? I know I always tell people about it being a numbers game, And again, the thing I've learned from you, like you told me now, Wesley, is not even about winning them, because you know we can win them. Like winning them is not, that's the easy part almost. But just numbers wise, even back then or now, I mean, now you go 10 for 10 for the grant stuff, but like how many proposals do you submit, or were you submitting? How does that work?
So before, I'd say anywhere from 20 to 30 a week, something like that.
20 to 30 in a week back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Well, it's like, for example, I just pulled up Ohio, your state.
Let's go.
And it says, So it says, Veteran Affairs, they're looking to renovate heated indoor swimming pool and recreational hall. I'd go through the solicitation. 9 times out of 10, they'll say that the solicitation is between, let's say, 500 and 1.2 million.
That's the estimated value. Yeah.
Yeah. I put 1.3 million and just submit the solicitation through. You know, sometimes you get them. You know, they do their market research on these, and sometimes they're wrong. Or let's say yours comes at 1.3 or 1.4, and their thing is like, maybe we did something wrong. But then you get some that come in at like 500,000, and they're like, yeah, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Exactly.
So sometimes they'll look at a higher bid and think that, you know, maybe they know something we don't know.
Right. So sometimes they see that higher bid, like, okay, I guess they put their ducks in a row. They know what's going to cost to really get the job done. And like you said, at the end of the day, the government just wants the work to be done. Like if you win the contract, the best thing you can do is complete it. Correct?
Absolutely. That's got to be your number one focus. Just complete the contract. Because you got to understand, when a solicitation gets on sam.gov, they've already spent a year and a half, 2 years of their own market research and time putting this solicitation together. So once it gets to you, they already have a lot of devoted time in it. All they want is somebody to come and bid on it, win it, and finish it. And that's it.
That's it. Just do that.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Just make sure you just finish your contracts.
Man, I love it, man.
I'd say finish your contracts. Like I said, with the linen thing, that I wouldn't say that was my fault or not my fault, but it is a cutthroat industry, and you have salespeople from other linen facilities out there that are, you know, knocking on the door saying we can beat everyone's prices. And whether it's the government that could say we're going to cancel your contract to the benefit of the government, or if I just don't want to do it anymore, I can submit a paper or a letter and say I want to cancel this contract to the benefit of the government. I think we talked about a park cleaning contract, you know, we did. And, you know, sometimes, you know, these contracts are so remote, it's hard to get employees. You know, it's hard to get subcontractors to do it. You know, it's hard to say, but you can't always count on people.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, I mean, we've done park cleaning, you know, you name it. We picked up trash, you know, porta potties. One of the things too is, I don't think I mentioned to you, but one of the things that do make money, really good money, are kits. Whether it's a paint kits, KITS. Yeah. Okay. So the government employees on military bases or, you know, government facilities, they don't like to put things together. So for example, so again, we have a supply base here in Oklahoma, and they repair and they paint a lot of aircraft. They won't go out and get a can of paint and a strainer and a brush, or, you know, a spray tip. But what the government does is they'll put a solicitation out to have a kit. So you put all this stuff together. So you can have a gallon of paint for, let's say, $250, aircraft paint, and, you know, a bunch of odds and ends that you can put it with it, maybe cost you $50. You're in it for $300, and you can actually sell these kits to the government for $1,500.
Really?
And kits. And not only do, like, let's say with aircraft painting, they do that, but hospitals do it too, like surgical kits. So they don't want to get all the instruments together and put the surgical towel inside and wrap it. So what you do, you can either hire a company, or the one that I did, we just ordered everything and
put it in boxes yourself.
Yeah, I was a corpsman in the Navy, so I knew how to, you know, put the kits together and wrap them, you know, for CSR. But it's just one of those things where that's really good money and just doing kits. So we not only have we done, let's say, construction projects, picking up trash, doing hospital linen, but drop shipping nuts and bolts, fasteners. I mean, there's anything that you see on sam.gov. Don't be an expert at it. Okay, the only thing that you need to be an expert at is the middleman. All you're doing is you're facilitating a contract and getting, the subcontractor to do the job for your contract, and that's it. All you're doing is
Are you
just.
sure you won enough contracts to coach people and say that? Are you sure?
Well, I've only done 15 or no 14.
No,
Yeah.
you've done many over 25 years. But yeah, I hear you. You got to understand the middleman style. I tell people all the time, sam.gov is free. Getting a quote is free. Submitting a proposal is free. So like the crazy thing about this, it blows my mind, is like this whole process doesn't really cost any money. And I think what speak to, I always tell people, I know you told me this or someone else told me this, especially in the contracting officers, the average company takes 2 to 3 years to win their first contract because they don't submit a proposal. And you even said the average company's making what? I don't know, some crazy small amount or whatever.
Yeah, it's been a while since I read that statistic, but I mean it's like the top, I think it's like the top 5% or 2%. Well, I think that they make more than 250,000 a year or something like that. And that's the top 1 or 2 to 3%.
1 or 2%. Yeah, most
Yeah,
people
so
are barely making anything.
yeah, so yes, they're probably not. I mean,
nothing.
They may do 1 contract a year, if that. But what I find is again, like I said, is your clients that do this, they need to have the mind frame that you're not an expert of anything other than being that middleman. And a lot of, from what I hear on your lives with TikTok, is a lot of people will say, I do this, do they have contracts for this? And it's kind of like, why would, I mean, that's what you do in your job. It's like, yeah, of course they have contracts for XYZ, but they also have contracts for ABC too, and these other types of products and services and materials, or whatever it may be. So it's just just get out there and bid on everything. Again, I mean, I'm scrolling to look at Ohio again. You had the heated pools, you have culvert replacements. I mean, I think there was some IT stuff for computers, an ultrasound machine going to a hospital. A lot of these can, when you made the comment about no out-of-pocket money, it can be, there's no out-of-pocket money to set your company up, to be registered with the government, to submit a proposal. Zero out-of-pocket money. When it can potentially cost money for you, you'll always get it back. So it's not like this, it costs money. It's just you have to put money up to get a contract, to complete the contract, for example. Right. But there's negotiation within, getting an award. So let's say that like the Target coffins, for example, or the even with the hospital linen, I think I put that on a 3-month delay, just to make sure payments were coming in, to where I saved up three months. I had over $100,000 in my account, to where I could just write them one fat check. And I had my checks coming in from the Indian tribe before I even got an invoice from the hospital linen company. So you can negotiate with your subcontractor. Yeah. Either say, hey, subcontractor, I'm gonna net 30. I'm gonna pitch you on a net 45. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Complete it. You get your check in 45 days. Mm-hmm. And they know I'd say 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, they know it's government and they know they're gonna get paid. Right. If you come off professional, the fake it till you make it type thing. Yeah. If you come off professional, they're gonna trust that they get a check in 45 days, and they're not gonna come harass you a week later. Yeah. But you can have those negotiating conversations with your subcontractors to get the jobs funded by them. Mm-hmm. Or there's negotiation to where, if it is like, let's say, a construction project, or even let's say a drop ship material, mm-hmm. They may ask for 10% down before they deliver, and then they'll wait the net 30. Even if you have a net 30 and you get paid net 30, depending how your account's set up, our checks always clear midnight the day we deposit them, or what they do depending on which entity. So a lot of the federal government sides directly deposits to your account.
Yeah.
But there's some that we would work with that would get checks in the mail.
Yeah.
So it just really depends. But there's a negotiating factor to that as well, to be at zero out of pocket money on even getting a project done.
That's crazy, but willing to invest something. No, I'm glad you said that, because I feel like I attract people with the wrong mindset when they're thinking like, oh, everything's free. When I'm just gonna go do this thing because it's free. And it's like, well, no, don't understand that like even for me, for my chimney one, I'm paying for like room and board for the guys to get there, and room and board and get them all settled. That's like, I don't know, a couple grand. I'll make 26.
The negotiation, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly, nothing wrong with it. We had a conversation. He was like, how's this work? And okay, well, it's $22K. I don't know if I can float. I can't really. He said I can float the material. I can float all that, but like I gotta go like stay in a hotel for 9 days.
Yeah.
So like, can you like pay? I'm like, yeah, I got you. Yeah. I'm
paying. Are you paying that above the contract?
No, that's still within the 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, sometimes you'll negotiate through. It's like, yeah, we'll pay for that, and they're still getting their 22. So,
No.
but yeah, okay, awesome.
That was exactly. I was already negotiated that this much for lodging, this much for material, this much for labor. So that was already in there. And I'm just like, you know what? I'll pay for the lodging. That way you guys can get settled and get going, and what's coming. And then also my chimney one, they know that I have another contract in Vegas for $450,000. That's for the Bureau of Reclamation. So you kind of toss that stuff out there too, like, oh yeah, I'm working with so and so with Bureau of Reclamation. They're like, oh, this guy's legit. Like, okay, well, yeah, let's go ahead and work together. And this is after I won the contract. People don't believe, like, I call a company up, can you do it? Yeah, we can do it. Okay, give me a quote. Okay, cool. I go submit it and I go win it. And then after I won it, he's like, so wait, what's the name of your company? How's this work? And I'm just like, all right, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not a big deal. So I love it, man. Well, John, go ahead.
I was gonna say, just I know you just don't call one sub, but for example, when I called, let's say going back to the Target coffins, I already had someone in place doing for $1,600, and at the last minute they backed out. They're like, yeah, we don't want to build them. And that's when I had to search around and go find another subcontractor. Exactly. That's why I went on, looked at the award letters. But it's always good to have a backup or have just a few bids. What you don't want to do is play with your subs, meaning let's say they come at you at $100,000 for the service and product that they're going to do for you, and you win the contract and you're making $100,000. So let's say you double it, and you come back to them and like, yeah, I really want you guys to do it, but can you do it for 80? That's one thing you don't want to play with your subs to do, because one thing that when you do talk to your subcontractors, you have to instill that confidence and that trust with them to say, I'm going to pay you for your service. I'm going to pay you for what you're worth.
Your worth, exactly. With your worth. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you leave it at that. You don't come back and renegotiate. The thing is, once you throw your numbers in for the government, if they don't pay you, I always get the courtesy call to my subs and say, hey, we didn't get this one, but I'm going to keep you in my database. Next time someone comes up, I'll shoot you a call back. And once you start developing those rapport with your database, with your subcontractors, you'd be surprised the next go around, they may be cheaper, because they may throw you that bid out there, just like, I'm just going to bid on this. I really don't want it, and the next one you get's half the price. Yeah. So it's good to keep those relationships.
Like sometimes you said you might wake up and bid on one the same day. If you got people on your Rolodex, hey man, toss me a quote, give me a quote, and they give you a quote within a couple hours.
Absolutely.
That makes life so much easier, as opposed to us, new people. Sometimes you feel like you're chasing the sub for a quote. Hey, did you get that quote together? Hey, you working on that quote? And it's like, well, why not just build rapport, be a human being, and then when something comes back around, they got the quote right there.
That too, another comment on that is that let's say that, the internet's pretty awesome now. When I started, no. You had to dial up, and it took forever to link up to anything. Nobody shared any information, so it wasn't too government contracting friendly. So the point I'm getting to is that now, even if you don't want to call a subcontractor, you can just do a search. How much does it cost to do whatever per square foot?
Ooh,
You know, and you could just take that number and it'll do it national. You know, if it seems too low, that's fine, but you're going to double or triple it anyways. So you know you're going to be covered. And you always want to bid on these contracts to make money. You don't want to just get by, and you don't want to be emotional to where you're going to go throw a contract in because you're late on a bill and this is the first thing that came to mind that's going to catch you up somehow. It doesn't work like that.
No.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's been profitable for me.
Yeah, I could see that. Mr. Canada Goose, or not Canada Goose. What's the name of the shoes?
Oh, Golden Goose.
Golden Goose. I'm like,
yeah.
Canada Goose.
Yeah, we have. They're comfortable. They're made in Italy. I mean, they're really. They don't look comfortable, but when people see them, they're like, yeah, they look kind of dirty or whatever. I don't have to explain nothing. It's like I just can't afford shoes then. No.
Those who know, they know. They know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've had people. I actually won a contract. It was a VA contract for a grant contract. So the son called me over, the veteran. I think he was like 80 some years old. But the son, I went over to look at the contract. You know, I was wearing a Rolex, wearing some Golden Goose shoes, you know, and my wife went with me. We had, you know, some embroidered, you know, business shirts on, you know, for the company. And he calls me up and he's like, hey, he goes, I want to go with your company. He's like, how much do I need to give you up front? And I told him, I said, we're going to complete the project 100%. And once the project is done, that's when we, you know, submit invoices to the government. He said, that's fine, whatever. But the point is the reason he picked my company is because I was wearing a Rolex, had a clean truck, and I was wearing Golden Goose. But he picked I mean, sometimes with those grants, they can pick you, and that's what they did. But yeah.
Dress for success, man. Nothing wrong with it. You see, I had to put my Burberry shirt on today. I was like, I'm going to be hitting out with John. I got to be wearing something nice today.
I'm just wearing a nice Lulu t-shirt.
Hey,
they're comfortable.
Hey, you're comfortable. That's all that matters. So, John, talk to us about, like, I know, for people to connect you on TikTok, I know it's Howard Jonathan on TikTok if they want to follow you. And right. I know, and we don't have to speak about it, but I know you used to coach as well. You used to teach. You used to, hey, you weren't cheap. You were charging 20, 25, whatever it was, a K.
20,000.
20,000. And you're like, you know what? You help people win contracts and you're like, I'm done with it. I'm just going to do my thing and retire. So, like, I guess my question for you is, like, how can people connect with you now if they wanted to? Do you want people to connect with you? Like, I don't know. You just toss it out there. Or what's your plan if you want to connect?
Probably
not.
Yeah. I'm a little low key. I mean, I'll answer questions, you know, when I'm on with you. I'm pretty sure we'll be doing some lives and things of this nature. I don't mind doing it. I'm that guy that I don't want to be popular. You know, I want to be the one driving down the street in a Lamborghini where people don't know who I am versus like, oh, that's Jonathan Howard. It's like, no.
You don't want that. No, you got your truck, you got your nice, what is it, the Sierra Denali, you're good to go. You're chilling.
The grandpa truck. Cops don't mess with me. Nobody pulls me over. I can speed.
But hey, man, that's cool. Hey, no worries, man. I know Howard Jonathan's your TikTok. I'm sure, we'll hop on live. So if people want to go ahead and follow Howard Jonathan on TikTok, that way we can hop on live together. And I'm going to say this, man. I would love for you. I know this is not for TikTok, but I would love for you to come to one of my classes as well and talk to my students and stuff if you can, one Tuesday or something like that.
Oh, absolutely. I thought you were going to ask me to take one of your courses.
Take it? What do you mean?
I'm joking.
I was like, I was to say, I need you to teach
me. I need a refresher.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I need you to teach me, man. But no, I would love for you to just pop in. I mean, they'll see this video, but I love for you to just pop in on. And I'm just kind of hinting at people who are interested. Like, there's value in the community because then you can hop in and just, you know, put a bug in people's ears, just kind of show people what's possible. And I think I always tell people now, like, it's not so much that I'm teaching the how-to, which I do teach the how-to, but we're more teaching the mindset of like you just said earlier, like, okay, you have a power washing company, cool. But you know they do power washing in Florida and they do it in New Mexico. Why not go find a government contract and have somebody else do the power washing? All because you live in Chicago and do power washing. Like, get out of that mind, you know?
Well, I'll put it this way. So I had a guy come to my, knock on my door today for pest control. And, you know, I started talking, young kid, he said his family owns the business. And, you know, I was asking, you know, how, you know, do they do good business? And, it's one of those things when they talk it up, you can almost divide it in half. That's where they're at type thing. And I had talked to him about, doing, have you looked into government contracting? And I pulled my phone up and pulled sam.gov up and typed in pest control. So all these contracts came out. So the point I'm getting to is when he's in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Let's say there's a contract in California, Ohio, Michigan, Maine, and Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's not that you can or can't do pest control or power washing. I said the value that you have there is you can call a subcontractor in Florida and talk the lingo on the phone and know exactly this is what we're doing. This is the pesticides. This is what you have to do. With the power washing, this is the cleaner they need. Make sure you do this. You have to have your MSDS, all this stuff, in line.
You know that industry, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's where I think the positive would be.
Yeah.
But for you to have a power washing company to travel all over the United States, the money's not that good in any industry to be, traveling 19 hours to go, do whatever it may be. I don't want to, lessen the value of power washing because I know some guys that make good money at it, but you don't make good money driving 19 hours to go clean a parking lot at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or I'm McDonald's, let's say on a military base, because it would be federal.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got you. Hey, time is money. At the end of the day, it's like we're working smarter, not harder. If everyone knows the deal, but it's like, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, it's I say it's easy because I've done it for so long, but it's only easy if you can take out that K through 12 brainwashing that we've all been through and just have that mindset to say, hey, I know a lot of people like to use the word entrepreneur, but I think people's killed that word so much to where it doesn't mean
that
the
word's
same thing.
dead. Yeah, that
yeah,
word.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, thinking outside to where you get to have all the free time you want when you want it. You get to decide what your paycheck is, however big or small it may be. I made a comment to this kid today and said, why not do a $100,000 contract January and then not work to the next year after Christmas. Start then.
Yeah. You make what you made in a year or in 6 months, in 1 month, and then
just take a vacation.
Yeah.
It's like, and he was talking about hourly, and I'm just like, I said, I was referring to the fencing contract, and it's like, I think I have about 20 hours in it at 150,000. I don't.
What
is that?
Right. 20 hours, you're making 150K.
What is it? 6,000 or 7,000 an hour, something like that.
Something like that.
No, it's probably more than that. It's 13,000 an hour, something like that. But I heard that's good money.
Sounds like good money in my neck of woods and probably your neck of woods as well. So yeah. Man. That's
absolutely
cool. All right, John, man. Well, hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I want to let you go, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I gotta go probably just make dinner or sit outside.
Be with the wife.
Yeah. Do a lot of nothing every day. It's that's what your goal should be, to be able to do a few of these contracts, make more money than you ever have in your entire life, and then actually start to get to spend it, with your family. Do the things you've always wanted to do, not just the 2 weeks out of the year that your employer lets you have.
Amen.
Then you're rushing around trying to fix the crap around your house that you couldn't get to throughout the year.
Yeah, so you didn't even take 2 weeks off. You're just working. All right, John, man. This has been amazing, bro. This has been amazing. Seriously, I'm so glad we could do this. I'm so glad you can be here. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, John.
Let me know if anything, man. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, man. It was great talking to you too. I'm in this here. I'm gonna talk to TikTok. Probably talk to the wife tonight, and then hey, we'll talk real soon, man, and we'll connect for the class on Tuesday or whatever. And I'll talk to you soon. All right?
Yeah, I'll see you on TikTok right now.
Yeah, you gonna see me on TikTok? Okay, I'll be in this call and I'll be talking to TikTok. All
right, man. Talk to you later.
All right,
bye.
See you later. All right, man. Peace.
Yo, don't click away. Oh yeah, you can't, because it's me, Wes Fisher. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the content that you're watching. I want to let you know, literally, guys, I'm just a real dude. I was a school teacher for 8 years before I got into government contracting. I've been awarded 14 government contracts at the recording of this video. I've been awarded over 2.5 million, but it's not about me anymore. It's about my students. In the past 12 months, my students have been awarded over $5 million in contracts. So listen, if you want to learn how to get started on sam.gov, you want to learn how to actually get started bidding on the platform, then go ahead, click the link below. You can find out more about the mentorship program. You can book a call with me and my team. We can see if we can help you. We can see if you're a good fit for us and if we're a good fit for you. So go ahead and do that. As you can see, people are having a lot of success. We got people making anywhere from 10K a month to even upwards of 80 to 100K a month because they're following a proven system. All right, guys, I'll let you get back to the video. Peace.